All right, ladies, we've got 10:01. I don't want to delay any further today in getting started with week two. Welcome to week two. Are you guys excited? I
Yes.
I hope so. Good. We had a great response from last week's lesson on leadership. The entire first 3 weeks of your 90 Days to Dominate, we're talking about being in peak performance as a CEO. And so week one, we focused in on leadership. Week two, we're going to talk about the lifestyle of a CEO. And we've got an amazing guest that I'll be bringing on here shortly. And then week three, we're going to talk about the mental game. So lots of great things coming forth for you guys. I'm going to get prepared here to share screen so that you guys have the ability to see notes for today. We've got an exciting session. I'm just so pumped. And so for those of you who are on live, welcome, welcome, welcome. You can go ahead and mute out your line. We'll open up later for Q&A. And then, get into the meat of this as we get started. So one moment here, I'm going to share. Awesome. So as I said, welcome back. Week two, we're ready to get right into it. And we're talking about the lifestyle of a CEO. I wanted to remind you when we talk about peak performance over these first 3 weeks of your course, that it's understanding how you as a CEO can cultivate yourself and your habits to create lasting success through consistent, excellent performance regardless of external forces. And I know that sounds like pie in the sky. How is that even possible? But that's what we're walking you through. In week one, we talked about leadership, and I want to give you just a little bit of a recap on leadership for a few moments here for those of you maybe who didn't get the chance to get it live. But we worked out of 2 books that I just love and want you guys to pick up for sure. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell and How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. 2 amazing leadership books that was noted in your homework from last week, but we only had the opportunity to talk about 2 primary laws of leadership. And just to recap, the law of the lid, we realize that the greater the impact you want to make, the greater your influence needs to be. And that, remember, leadership equals influence. So we talked about last week how oftentimes as CEOs, we get caught up in how do we become more profitable? I need a better marketing system. I need a better product. I need to improve my service offering, right? But reality is, within you as a leader, you can improve yourself and see a greater level of effectiveness. And that's what this chart is showing you right here. So literally just by improving your leadership ability from a 2 to about a 6.5, take a look at what you were able to see happen in your effectiveness in your business. And that's exciting stuff. The next thing that we talked about, guys, was our law of the inner circle. And if you'll remember, your potential is determined by those who are closest to you. I love this quote, and I had to put it back up, but you show me your friends and I'll show you your future. It really does matter who you are running with, all right? We want to make sure that we are including the right people in our circle. Let me go back. And then the last was the 30 golden rules. And I gave that to you guys in an attachment that was inside the Facebook group. You'll want to look at that because it talks about behaviors of a leader that came from How to Win Friends and Influence People. And if you'll remember, we talked about some of those. Hold on one second here. I want to make sure. It looks like we're getting a little bit of feedback. One second. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. Perfect. Sorry about that. Let me go back to sharing here. But we talked about the behaviors of a leader. And that was super important. Remember, we talked about using someone's name as often as possible in conversations because that's the greatest sound to their ears. We talked about one of my other favorites is getting the yeses. You know, constantly as a leader and influencer, you want to be getting the buy-in of those who are around you and who you are working with. And that means gaining yeses. And so that's an important thing. So for those of you who maybe missed our session last week, it's inside the Facebook group. You guys can grab a hold of that link. You'll see the PowerPoint there. You'll see your homework there as well. So definitely take some time this weekend to catch back up on week 1, because leadership is very, very important to your success in your business. So this week, we're talking about the lifestyle of a CEO. And our goal, as we talked about again, is peak performance. Getting to a place, whether you are a full-time entrepreneur or you are a part-time entrepreneur, that you are on a daily basis working at your very best. And again, I listed for you all kind of our understanding of what we want to see happen in performance. But I find what happens in really understanding what the lifestyle of a CEO is all about is getting the chance to really see that and to begin to model it. And so today we have millionaire mom Denise Lee on the line with us. I'm going to bring her out here shortly. But I'll tell you, my mind shift happened, my transformation and really stepping out into all I was called to be as an entrepreneur occurred by recognizing the lifestyle of those who were doing it and doing it well, and then being able to replicate that. And so that's what we want to create in today's call. I'm going to do a little less talking and have our guests do more, but I want you all to understand that you have to become aware of what successful people do. And once you have that awareness, find out how they do it. The fastest way for you to ramp up your next level of success in performing is to see those who are performing well. And so that's what we want to do. Today, I want to light a fire for you all in understanding how you can begin to perform at your peak. And then understand how you can actually replicate that. That's going to be so important, guys. So once we've done that, you have to recognize that there's going to be a cause and effect, right? We understand that in our lives, right? When you do something great, you sow great seed, you reap a great harvest. When you maybe sow some bad seed, you make a mistake, man, there's an effect that happens, that cause and effect. And so when we recognize the behaviors, the lifestyle, the things that a CEO is doing in the background to cause great performance, we want to recognize the relationship in those things to be able to replicate it well. I'll tell you, lots of times we see people who are doing extremely well. For instance, I'm going to talk about Cardi B, right? Everybody talks about Cardi B. 2017 was her year. 2017, she just went from nothing to something, but it's probably not the truth. The reality is, though I don't know much about her, there's been things that have gone on in the background for years that set her up, that made 2017 become her year. Denise, I know when we bring her on the line, we're going to hear from her and you guys will find out. Sure, she had her breakout year and now has had multiple breakout years since then, but it was a process. There was lots of things that happened that caused her to reap a great reward, to see exponential success in her business. And so we want to begin to understand, what are those behaviors? What are the things that happened underground that people didn't see, the day in and the day out, that creates a lifestyle of peak performance that allows people to make millions of dollars as an entrepreneur? Once we understand those behaviors, then we want to create new habits. And that is important. So I want us now, let's take a look here, to think about some of the things that you've recognized in other entrepreneurs that have caused them to be successful. Maybe habits that you've seen, some things that you recognize that on a consistent basis you see them doing on social media. You maybe have recognized it on TV. Maybe they've talked about it out there. This is their regimen, right? Their meditation, their eating, their spiritual beliefs, whatever it could be. Those are the kind of things that we're going to start to talk about. So get your mind percolating. Even think about maybe some of the things that you're doing now that are right, that you want to magnify, that you want to get better at, that you want to grow in. And that's going to set the stage for kind of digging in today. So we're creating an awareness of what the successful do and how they do it. We want to begin to understand that cause and effect relationship, what they're doing that's causing them to see great success or great outcomes. And then our goal after this is to begin to model those behaviors, find what works for us, and create new habits. That is it. That's what we want to see happen today. So what I want to do next is bring in our guest, Peak Performance in Action. We want to give you the opportunity to hear from the elite in entrepreneurship. And this is a dear friend and colleague of mine, Denise Lee. Denise is a businesswoman, mother, philanthropist, and an author. She is born to entrepreneurs. Her family owned a bakery when she was young. She began working there at 8 years old. Talk about what happens behind the scenes, right? So she began her entrepreneurial journey as a child. She has a BS in nursing. She was a real estate success. And after the real estate market crashed, most of us remember that and we're a part of it in some way. She turned a $500 investment into a 7-figure success in the direct selling industry. Had the opportunity to get her home out of foreclosure, pay for her daughter's college tuition in cash. I remember seeing this happen as it happened. It was so exciting to see and experience that journey alongside you, Denise, and her mantra, which I just love. Everyone can tap into their gifts and make their dreams come true. So what I want to do now is I'm going to add Denise here to our chat. Let me unmute you. All right, Denise, can you there, your video's up.
Oh, there we go.
I love it. Thank you. You're in. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to have you.
I thank you so much for asking me to be on this morning. You know I love you dearly, and we go way back, Jen. And you were talking about your friends, and you and I have been friends since like 2009 or 10.
It's been a long time. You're right. You're exactly right.
Like spirits kind of come together. And we actually were in a group of people, and we navigated towards each other because of, I guess, a certain inner spirit that we had. So I am just so blessed this morning that you asked me to be on this webinar today to just pour in to the ladies, the wonderful, wonderful women that is part of your group and your platform. And I'm just grateful this morning.
Awesome. And me too. And I'll tell you, it is just awesome to see after all this time, how business connections can really, our journeys are together, and then sometimes they're apart and we're working on different things, but we just, we come back together and it's on purpose, to impact the lives of other people. And I think that that's an underlying and an underpinning foundation for so many successful entrepreneurs. And you're going to talk about that today in a little bit of your kind of ways that you've created a lifestyle that's given you the success that you've seen, and share that with the ladies. But I wanted to kind of interview you a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. And so today, what I want to do is just find out from you, Denise, there is a time and place when you've journeyed as an entrepreneur. You saw success, you saw failure in the foreclosure of your home, financial ruin that we've all gone through as a part of that real estate collapse. But what do you think was the shift that really made either this business finally be the one? Was it the business? Was it your mindset? Like, what was the turn that caused you to just see the massive success this time around?
So I think the shift for me was when I knew that God had more for me and that I wasn't going to just bail out and live a mediocre life. I knew that I had more inside of me that I had to give. I felt it. I knew it. It was like a nudge inside of me that said, you know what, do not give up. This is the only life that you have to live, and you are going to live it to its fullest. That's what I woke up and said, I'm going to live my life till its fullest. And I believe that once I had that shift in my mind, that it was, I adopted philosophies of non-defeat, that I just wasn't accepting it. And no matter what the things, the circumstances look like around me, I knew that somewhere, somehow, there was a miracle that was going to happen, because in my circumstances, it took a miracle. I'm going to tell you.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And I love it. It is so much about the mind shift. It is about the mind shift. It is about making that decision, that internal decision that, you know what, this time is going to be it. Hell or high water, whatever the outside circumstances are, that I have the power and the ability to produce and to produce at a high level. And I'll tell you, there was a real life-changing moment for me as you started to have your success. We, for the ladies who are on and seeing this video, we worked alongside each other in a direct selling business, a couple of them. And this last one, we had decided to come back. I was still working full time, had just had a baby, but there was definitely self-doubt. And there was like, man, how is this going to work? How are we going to make this happen? And I remember I passed Denise at a dinner, and I don't even know if you remember this, Denise, but you walked past me and I was just so excited for your success. And I gave you a hug and I was kind of getting choked up. I'm like, I'm just so excited to see you. You know, you're doing so great. And you looked at me and said, Jennifer, you are a leader. This is your season and this is your time. Do not wait any longer. It was like you knew, and I know it was the God on the inside of you that was like, Jennifer, you better stand up. But you know, that power, that authenticity of walking in purpose gives you the ability and the authority to speak to other people like that, to speak to your situation and to see things happen. And it changed me. It really did. It flourished into a few different things, even not even just that business, but I just thank God for that. And so it just resonates as you talk about that mind shift, as you talk about that walking in power and knowing that it was going to happen. I could see that on the outside, that's how you felt on the inside, right? And it was just awesome to experience as a bystander to see that success. And now that's what you do. You are helping other women become, and men, I should say, coaching them in success in business. And that's kind of what you're doing now alongside the direct selling business. Where are you in business now, I guess, if you'll give us the update?
Well, I'm doing great. I've actually made multiple seven figures.
Yes!
Like pinching myself. Yeah. So
I love it.
Wonderful. And it's actually taken me in different directions because I actually believe in multiple streams of income. You know, I've learned that lesson. And so it's taken me to this unfolding of like, wow, the trueness of who I really am. There's so many different layers that we have. It's not just one thing. It's many things. So I'm enjoying the process, finally enjoying the process, because I didn't enjoy it all the time. I didn't. Even having the money, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't have peace and joy inside. It was always an anxiety that was attached to it that, you know, I wanted more, I wanted more. Now, I just feel very content in where I am as a woman, as, you know, a businesswoman, as a mother, as
I love it.
Other people. So it's a journey. It's a journey, but enjoy your journey because there's going to be highs and lows. And those are the things that God wants you to go through. So you'll be able to identify in someone else, just like when I stopped you and you just gave me chills when you talked about that, and I kind of welled up and I saw where you were because I was there. Mm-hmm. And I was able to identify that and speak,
Yeah. Oh God, you're so right. And I feel like, man, it's just such a blessing when you can start to see the journey. And I think you go from that hustle of the beginning of your stages of entrepreneur, where it is that anxiety, there's that month to month, there's that, how am I going to make it happen? And finally, I don't know if it's maturity, if it is just the money, right, that allows you to downshift and just begin to enjoy the process. I feel like when you get to that place, you really get to walk in the fullness of your gift and really perform at a different level. I don't know, for you, what do you feel like? Was it the money that made that shift, or was it a mindset first and then the money came? How did that work for you?
It was a mindset shift. Then the money started coming, and it came easier than what I thought it was going to come, because I started to really just rely on God. I was like, Lord, okay, I know that you brought this opportunity to me. I don't know what to do next. I don't know. So you're going to have to tell me. You're going to have to show me. You are going to have to bring the leaders to me, because I don't know where they're coming from. They are tired of working with me. They've worked with me in a couple of other businesses. No one is saying, yes, Lord, you got to do it. This is how I talk to you, God. Since you brought this to me, now you have to do it. But what I had to recognize is being still. And when you ask God for something, then you have to become still enough to listen. And a lot of times our minds are racing, and we go through the flow of life just rushing, and I have to do this and I have to do that. What I learned to do is just be still and kind of wait to see what nudge God was going to give me. Yeah. So when I would meet people, I'd be like, oh, wait a minute, that's the one that's going to join my business. Just by being kind of still. It's something inside that you just feel. I guess that your intuition becomes heightened. The Holy Spirit in you really is what you'll be able to tap into, and it guides you. And then you'll know what energies are good. You'll know what energies are bad, and it's really in stillness that I was able to move forward. It's easier than what you think. A lot of people think it's this grind, it's this rush, it's this. You're going to do the grind because, you're not going to get something for nothing. But the grind is not going to be as hard as you think. You're going to be moving in your purpose. So it's going to be more pleasurable.
Agreed. And it's such a great space to get there. I know when I start coaching for people, oftentimes they're in that, they're coming to coaching because they feel like they're exhausted, they're out of juice, they're out of ideas, they don't know what to do. And it's almost like when you decide to take control and you set the pace, you begin to own who you are, what it is that you want to do, that you begin to really walk in excellence. And I love hearing you just describe that in a few different ways and how you experience that. So people recognize that it doesn't matter whether you're making $1 in your business right now, or you're making $100,000. You have the same amount of power and the same amount of control.
Yes, you do.
You do. You do. And it is making the decision to harness that and really run with it. And that's what I want to share today. You shared some things with me, 10 ways that you kind of stay in peak performance. And I'm going to stop and I'm going to share my screen here really quick again so that everybody has the opportunity to kind of see this as you walk through, just for us, what you do on a regular basis to really stay in optimal performance. And that means, in that space where you're seeing and you're hearing God, in that position where you're executing at a high level. And so I want to step back for a moment. You're able to see the screen now, Denise?
I am able to see the screen. Yes.
Good. So if
Yes.
you want to just kind of break it down for us, like in your mind, we want to pick the brain of a multimillionaire and hear what it is that you do on a regular basis to stay in peak performance.
Okay. Yeah, when you asked me to do this, and I kind of put it off a little bit because, I'm like really busy. And yesterday I went through this and literally like, I don't know, 2 minutes, and I came up with this list because this is actually what I do on a daily basis. And what I want to say to everyone, and what I wish I had known years and years ago, if I could say to my younger self, is that it's actually easier than what you think that is going to be. Is that you have to adopt some core principles that allow you to be in your flow. And for me, I have been doing this now for a couple of years where I don't waver from this. No one can tell me anything differently. I don't care who you are, even if it's my mama. No one can tell me anything differently from what I have experienced in these 10 ways, to stay in peak performance. And it's not this hustle and this grind and this fight. And, it's actually the total opposite. I happen to believe that there is abundance all around us. There is no such thing as lack in this world, that you can have peace and joy and be in a blissful state. And that is where God wants you to be in order for you to operate in your purpose. That is why we're on this earth, is to operate in our purpose. And guess what, everybody? It's not about us. It's not about us. It's about who we are to serve while we are here on this earth. So the first thing that I had to do in my life is to put God first. Now, I don't, mean for this to be this religious Zoom or whatever.
That's all right.
I'm telling you, I am whatever religion you're part of. You are going to make it so much easier for you, your life, if you put God first. And I'm not talking about doing the dutiful things of going to church and sitting there, in the audience and in the pew and being amongst the energy. And then when you leave, you can't treat your neighbor with love. I'm not talking about being on a choir and, being an usher. I am talking about recognizing the God that is inside of you, knowing that you come from the Creator and that God is not here and you're here. It is that God is here, you're here, and there is a flow, that He resides in your heart. So it's about the true submission. So what I do, I have a very, very regimented morning and a nighttime routine. And before I put my foot on the ground to even go to the bathroom, when I wake up, I thank God for another day. And I claim that this is going to be the best day, the very best day of my life. So I do that every morning. In addition to that, I go to the bathroom and I go to the bathroom, I wash my face, I brush my teeth, and then I grab my Bible and I do my devotion. So there's a couple of books along the years that I've loved. This one called Jesus Calling. I don't know if anybody has this devotional book by Sarah Young. This is a nice devotional book to start with. I love it. It is written beautifully. It's not long, because I know we have some moms on here that have really busy lives. And I would urge you to start your day, just get up a little early, and every day do, your devotions, or whatever religion you have to be, part of. Do something, something. Do that first. The second thing is I keep my energy at a high frequency. So I found this out a secret, and it is that once you operate at a high frequency, you're able to catch the abundance that's for you because the abundance is here. But when we get caught up in our emotions, and we have the emotion of fear, the emotion of anger, the emotion of jealousy, those things, what it does is it lowers your frequency. And what it does is it blocks your blessings. Because if you operate in pure love and your intentions are good, and you look at your neighbor and you smile at them, you greet them no matter who they are, whether they are from the janitor to the millionaire or billionaire that may be in your midst, you treat everyone the same. But you won't be able to do that unless you love yourself first. So, because you can't give out something that you don't have. So I have learned to be forgiving of myself and a lot more gentle. To me, just forgiving things that I thought that I didn't do right in the past, and say, you know what, so what? Today is a new day, and this is where I'm supposed to be right in this moment in time, right at this very second, and God is pleased. Don't think that God is not pleased with you. He is pleased with you, and that you have the next second to let him know that he's pleased. So that means to love a little more on yourself and love other people. And when you master being able to love the people that are the toughest to love, that is where the magic is going to happen.
That's good.
Be a little transparent with you. I'm actually right now going through a transitional period of a divorce. And I am having the best time of my life because I am actually able to be compassionate towards him. I'm able to accept him for being the father of my children and for all of the wonderful times that we've shared together. I have forgiven myself for what I thought should have been, or what the life that I thought I should have. I have forgiven him for anything that we have gone through. And when I did that, the joy and the bliss that is inside of my heart, it keeps me stable. It's like nobody can come in and shift me. They just can't shift me. He can, get angry again one day, and I'm like, okay. It's just like
so good, Denise.
I'm just like, all right. It's I don't know. I can't explain it. It is just unexplainable.
Wow, that's awesome.
But it took so much time for me. It took a lot of time for me to get there. And it was also in the stillness, okay? Being still. So it's keeping the energy around you, or keeping yourself at a high energy frequency. So, and it's also to managing the energy that's around you and the people that you associate yourself with. I am very, very firm about this. I do not interact with people who are gossipers, who hate on other people, especially women who hate on other women. I just don't do it. I don't participate in it. I won't. It's just people who just, have a low energy frequency. I just don't do it. I will cut myself off of social media if I'm going on and I'm looking and I find myself judging someone. I'll just get off because I feel the energy going down, you know? So those are some little things that I've done. But I'm going to tell you this third one right here. This is where magic happens. I have learned that we have more power than what we think. We have way more power inside of ourselves than what we think. And I have been able to, on a daily basis, visualize and manifest my life and design it the way that I want it to be. And I started actually, Jen, I started meditating around a year and a half ago. And I am a Christian woman, so I was told, you know, by people, you know, that are close to me, oh, you don't want to do that, you don't want to get into that realm yet. No, you have to know what you're going to meditate on. And I happen to meditate on Jesus Christ. And I meditate every day for 20 minutes after I actually do my devotion. And in my meditation, I visualize the things that I want in my life. I visualize me walking, you know, on the beach with my family. I visualize me with my friends, just laughing it up. I visualize what my bank account, what I want it to look like. I play games with this visualization thing, and things show up in my life. I am just blown away with how things just show up. I'm like, God, you are showing off.
Yeah.
You are showing off. I manifest things. Let me just say a little funny story about something that I manifested. I know I manifested. Okay, so I really wanted to respect my money more. I earn a great income, and I want more abundance to come into my life. So I went through my finances, and I came to the realization that I waste a lot. Like just the little nickel and dime things I kind of waste. Like I may order out too much, or I may have this service that I have going on that I don't use, that I need to just cancel. And so one of the things that just irritated me was going to the ATM machine that is not of my bank. And that you pay the fees. You pay the fees from the ATM and you pay the fees for the bank. So a lot of times I am rushing and I have to go to the ATM machine that's the Rite Aid at the corner of where I live. And every time I get there, I'm annoyed with myself because I have to pay this fee, right? And I'm like, I should have woken up early. I should have went to the ATM. Jen, let me just tell you, I went in there one day and I looked at the machine, and they put a machine in there that was from my bank. I said, wait a minute, I manifested this machine.
Oh my God. I love it.
Now, I like to believe that when I walk in there, it just poofs, it just morphs into my bank's machine. And then when I walk out, it goes back to the regular machine. But I'm just saying, like little things like that. I'm like, this is a miracle.
This is awesome.
That may sound silly to you guys. I don't know. But
absolutely not.
I am just telling you how things just like you can actually manifest whatever you want in life.
They're going crazy on the chat, Denise.
Oh, they said I am encouraged. I see that.
And you know what I think is so great to hear, because this is not by chance that we do have that power and the ability to really tap in. And obviously I love how, you know, that caveat you say, we understand where that power comes from. And that's the difference, I think, in people understanding this whole new age thing that's out there, that really does have biblical roots. And absolutely is divine, but it's misconstrued. But I think that is not by chance, that as we see successful people all over, that there is that absolute time where they are being very thoughtful about what it is that they want to have happen, how they want to see it have happen, and absolutely it manifests. So I love sharing that. Number 3, yay, right on, sister. That's awesome.
So I would encourage everyone that's on this line to really take some quiet time and just start with your breath going, just breathing in and out, and just let your mind just go to where you want it to go, to visualize what it is that you want. And the secret too is to stay in a place of feeling good. Stay in the place of feeling good. So when I do this practice in the morning, and I'm determined that I'm going to stay in a place of feeling good, then when someone tries to bring something to me that doesn't feel good to me, then I don't let them sway me. It's just because I've already made the decision to stay in a place of feeling good. So that's also, if you stay in that place, people are going to show. It's like a light that you have a light that is drawing like things to you, like people to you. And I also say over and over again that I have more than enough. Thank you, God. I have everything that I need right here in my midst. I have more than enough. And then you will find things that you thought you needed that you didn't need because you found it in your closet or something. It's just being grateful in where you are, because you actually have more than enough. You
Agreed.
have more than enough. I don't care where you are right now, you have more than enough. So when you focus on the things that you have and you ignore what you don't have, what happens is that you will invite more abundance into your life. But if you notice that you don't have it, what's happening is you're repelling the abundance. You're repelling it. If you're saying, oh gosh, I don't have the money, I don't have, these things are coming out of your mouth, then what happens is the reverse of what you want. So you may not even realize what, you're doing. Okay, so number 4, put people first. I really believe this. I serve. So I ask God, okay, Lord, who do you want me to serve today? And that could be anybody. You will know when they come into your midst. Who do you want me to serve today? So in my industry, in network marketing, I like to deal with quality versus quantity. So when someone joins my organization, I like to really coach them one-on-one. I'd rather do that instead of enrolling massive amounts of people that I can't touch. When we go to these events, Jen, you know how it is. And when you are a leader, people look up to you. And I will stand there if it takes 2 or 3 hours for people to come and take a photo with me. And I stop and ask them, where are you from? And I look in their eyes. I'm a big hugger. And I actually care. And you never know for that one moment what you can do to somebody's life. You just never know. I really worked on being this last year because I was just really just busy, going through the motions, just busy. Being a better daughter, to my mother, being a better mom. And although, I've given my children everything, a lot of times I was on my phone, and so I've focused on just putting the phone down and being engaging in that moment with my children. Although they are adults, they're still my children, and I do that. And we have created a bond now where they come to me for advice. I'm like, wow, you're telling me this stuff? You're actually telling me this, So I've I've become a better friend. I had a friend who went through cancer and she was going through chemo. I actually stopped traveling to be by her side and to prepare meals for her, to go with her to some of her appointments. So, but I did that with intention to be a better friend.
Wow.
And what else did I try to do better? Mother, friend. And then I also have an affirmation that I say, I am only surrounded by people who love me. I'm only surrounded by people who love me. I am only surrounded by people who love me. I am only surrounded by people who love me. So when someone doesn't treat me right, I'm like, I don't know, they're not doing that to me. Because I'm only surrounded by people who love me.
I know that's right.
I'm a better sister too. I have 3 sisters, so I've worked on my relationships over the past year. That was really important to me. All right. I hope this is some good stuff, guys.
It is.
Okay. So number 5, celebrate the small wins. A lot of times we don't do that. You know, we don't take that time to celebrate ourselves for the small things that we've accomplished, and we rush to the next goal. Celebrate the small wins, because what's going to happen is that's going to keep you in that place of feeling good instead of moving you fast to that space of anxiety where you're like, oh, I gotta get the next thing. Celebrate the small wins, because what's going to happen is if you celebrate them, then more wins are going to come into your midst, because you recognize that as a win instead of looking at what you don't have. So, I just teach my son this because he's an entrepreneur and he's 27, and I'm like, boy, he got some hard knocks to go through in his life, because I could just go and you know, he's a millennial, so you know the entitlement, and I'm getting to him though, you know. So
That's good.
I just had a little session with him about celebrating the small wins, and he said, "Mom, you're right." I said, "Don't rush on to the next thing you have to do, even if it's for 24 hours. Stay in that place of feeling good, even if it's for 24 hours. Do that." So
awesome.
Number 6. And in network marketing, if you guys are in direct sales, this is a hard one to get. Woo! Don't compare yourself to other people. Don't do it. Because what I've realized is that my journey is my journey. And my wins are going to look different from somebody else's wins.
Wow.
And you may be involved in something that may not be the it to what your full purpose is, but you may meet someone in that journey that takes you to whatever it is that God wants you to do for purpose. You know what I mean? So do not compare yourself to other people. And social media, guys, can be bad sometimes. You know, when you look at people's lives and you think that it's so great, and you know that it makes you look at yourself and may not feel so good about yourself. So what I do is I actually limit my social media time. I do. I know that social media is the wave of the future, and we do have to be tapped in order for some of our businesses to grow. But I urge you to kind of limit that and just manage that, because you can get into a rut of looking at people's photos and you know, their posts, and get into a judging of others. And ooh, she look a mess. Oh, look at her, what she's trying to do. And you know, thinking that somebody's posting about you and it's not even about you. You know, you can really get caught up into that, and it can consume your life. So
wow, that's so good.
I limit my social media time. Like, I will find out what it is I need to know somehow, some way. So Don't get sucked up into that social media frenzy of comparing yourself to other people. Don't do it. Don't do it. Number 7 is creating balance. And I looked at a journal that I had from years ago when my children were younger, and I said, my God, Denise, you were so uptight. I had a schedule, and it was 6 o'clock, wake up, walk the dog from 6:10 to 6:20, jump in the shower from 6:25 to 6:30. It was so rigid that looking at that, I got heart palpitations. God, oh my goodness. And I had 2 children. You have how many? You have 4.
4.
Oh my God. I was like, so, clean the house. Let the housework go.
This is good. You're teaching.
Oh my goodness. So if I can say something to that younger self. So I'm going to, because I know you ladies on this line, you're younger than me. I'm 49. So.
And looking amazing. Right? Look, at somebody said, no way. Somebody else said, Lord. Yes, y'all, 49, looking like 29. Come on now.
Well, thank you so much. All right, so ladies, listen, create balance. If you're a mom, spend time with your kids. I mean, those years are going to go by so fast. If I can tell you, it brings tears to my eyes. They're going to go by so fast. Look in your children's eyes, hug them, read to them at night, tuck them into bed. Just put that phone down. I don't care what business you're in, because my kids are grown now, and I wish they were babies. I'm sorry. Oh my God. So love on those babies. They need you. They need you as moms. So it breaks my heart when I see these women, they're traveling all around the world trying to chase this dollar, and their kids are home with whoever. You don't know what can happen to your children. So many things, can happen that can change their life like that. They need you there. So I am from the old school. Be there with your children. Amen. Don't put anything before them. Nothing. So I'm sorry. I did not mean to get on here and start crying.
But this is so good. Right? Yes. And this is, I love you sharing so strongly about it, because that's a heart issue, and it is definitely a conflict. It's been a conflict in my life. It phases and opportunities of growth, how you continue to manage that. But you have to believe that when you keep the right things, and your priorities are in line, that you can still succeed. And for you, that you had that happen. And that's why I want people to see and to understand that, sure, you did some traveling and you managed that while your daughter was going to college. I saw that happen in that exchange. What a crucial time, but you required of yourself to make that happen and make business happen. And you were able to do it. And so kudos to you, and thank you for sharing with such passion, because that is important, and you can have it all. You can get those things in line and still make that money and make it happen. So amen. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that so much.
You know why, Jen? Because God blesses order. He blesses order. And things won't be as hard as you think if you put the right order in your life. So I just love on those babies. Love on your children.
Good one. Good one. I love it.
All right. Goal setting. So with the goal setting, what I would do is and I still do, I set those, short-term goals and long-term goals. But I'm not as regimented like I used to be. With incorporating the visualization and the manifesting in my life, with the meditation, what happens is it heightens your intuition, and your goals that you set, they will be accomplished much easier when you have that balance in your life. You put God first, you stay in the place of feeling good, that this goal setting piece becomes much, much easier. And what I try to do with my goal setting is to be a little more fluid in it, and not so tight and regimented, because the course that you thought you may be going on, that may not be the course that God wants you to go on. So you have to make the shift. Like Jen, she was in that company, right? But now you're walking in your purpose. So if you had gotten so caught up in that and judged yourself so much in that space, you would not have recognized that you should be in this space. So
Agreed.
Sometimes we have to adjust our goals, and we have to be a little more fluid in them. When something seems to be very resistance, really tight, and you feel this resistance, let go of the rope. That may not be where you need to go. To be able to have joy and peace, it is the path of least resistance. It's the path of least resistance. It's not the tug of war. It's not the fight. It's the submission. It's the love. It's the balance. So it's the complete opposite than what I thought it was in my 20s and 30s. I was this just tough kind of, businesswoman. I had this little chip on my shoulder.
That Philly girl coming out.
What I am all the time. And I thought, I have something to prove. No.
Outstanding.
Let it go.
I love it. And this is so good, because the resistance is such a great word for it, because when it comes down to it, let me make sure y'all can see me. When it comes down to it, it's not that it's not work, and it's not that it's not going to grow you and stretch you walking in purpose, but there is a difference in that stretch and that feeling than a resistance. And I love the way that you describe that, because man, you know what? There was a prophetic word literally that we got Colleen through Anthony. And one of the things, I can't remember it entirely, but just talking about the year, and he said it would be oars up. So meaning you're going to be in the boat, but you're not going to have to paddle. Your oars are going to be up, and you're going to get to where you need to go this year. And that's what I literally saw it again when you said the path of least resistance, that when you begin to just get in that current and in that flow, that you'll see the success and the manifestation at the level that you want to see.
You're going to be on a magic carpet of momentum.
I need to hashtag that.
Magic carpet of momentum, honey.
That's the best. I love it. That's awesome.
And I see that. And, looking at the brand and Colleen, I am just so super happy to just see things unfolding, because I met her around a year ago. And another thing, we connected right away, and we was loved on each other right
Kindred spirits,
away.
yes.
And I left, we spent some time in Florida together, and I left feeling so good, after that meeting. So I am just honored now that she has asked me, to be a part of this platform, which is yeah, absolutely. Like when you reached out, I was like, absolutely, yes, right? Yes,
oh, that's awesome.
So, which I'll do number 10 and then go back to 9, which talks about collaboration. Okay. You can't do it by yourself. If you're thinking that you have to accomplish something by yourself, forget it. Collaborate with people. Embrace others' gifts. And first of all, be able to recognize and don't be intimidated by somebody else's gifts. Okay? Don't be intimidated, and collaborate, because everyone can win. There's no such thing as lack. There's only abundance in this world. Everyone can win. So look for those collaborations. Love on each other, because we need to show the world a different world than what it has been in the past. And what I do not like is women not loving other women. We need to support each other. We're going through so much that we can help out. So I just love to love on other women. I just do. I just do. So, all right. So number 9, which, because I skipped over it, work in your lane and pay others to do the rest.
Come on now.
Now that is just a core business, like 101 tip. Identify what you do well and do it. What you don't do well, pay somebody else to do. Because you're going to move faster in whatever your goals are. You're going to be able to zoom because you're not trying to figure something out that you're not supposed to be figuring out anyway. I'm terrible with techie stuff. I am. So I don't do it. I can't make flyers, and I don't know how to do that. It would take me so many hours to do that. I don't do that. I don't like to clean. I like my place nice and orderly, and I'm not going to have a dirty bathroom or kitchen, but I don't like rolling up my sleeves. So I incorporate that into my budget. And then I work on the things to flow into my purpose. Hire the best attorney. If you need an attorney, hire the best accountant. Know a little about everything so you know that someone's not taking advantage of you.
Come on.
So just know a little bit about everything so you know someone's not taking advantage of you. But find your lane and just do it well. Do it well and pay everybody to do the rest. So those are my 10 things to say into peak performance.
Wow. Just some amazing things that you shared with us. Thank you so much. I mean, you guys, she came with like the right hook, got the jab in there. I mean, I feel so full after those 10, and I wish we had like another couple of hours to sit here and chat. But thank you, Denise, for sharing. Did you guys love that? Look at amazing, Rose said. Hugh said awesome. Colleen is on. She's got all the boys with her, so you know the background noise is crazy. But she said, love you too, Denise. And ladies, we're going to give you just a little bit of homework here, and then we're going to jump back, and we're going to keep a little bit of time for Q&A. I'm going to close out the video here in just a moment, but I want to give you homework first, okay? So homework for today is going to be a little bit lighter because I definitely gave you quite a few assignments last week, but these are important. I want you to find one CEO that you admire to begin to observe and model. And I'll tell you, social media can help you to do this. You know, just seeing how people are sharing their lifestyle, begin to observe. If there's somebody that's local and close to you, you know, ask for lunch. But over the next 90 days, this is a longer homework. I just want you to look for a CEO to begin to admire, that you admire, observe, and model their behaviors. And then you're going to create over the next 90 days, 3 new habits. Denise gave us so much great practical wisdom, literally exactly what she does in her day. So I hope you were taking notes. If not, you'll have to catch the link later. But I want you to pick one new habit for this month. You're going to choose an additional one to add in March, and then a last one for April. So, yeah, we're February, March, April. So 3 new habits. Now, I do want you to send in this homework. So all you're going to do is just write a note, send it into the coach's email so that I get the chance to see it. It's just being accountable. You don't have to tell me how you're going to do it. Just shoot me over the name of the CEO that you are going to begin to observe and model, and then the 3 new habits that you're going to pick up over the next 90 days. Sound like a plan? Awesome. All right, ladies. So this is it for us for today. What we're going to do is close out our video now. I'm so excited to jump into Q&A for those of you who are here. 1 second here. All right. So we're going to open up the lines and let me go ahead and I'm not going to unmute all. I want you guys to unmute. If you have a question for Denise that didn't get answered while we were here in this conversation, I'm going to open it up now, and I would love for you to ask. Any questions for Denise today?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in a loud place, you can always chat questions too.
Hello?
Hello, is that Brandy?
Hey, it is Brandy. I just want to tell you thank you so much, Denise. I can really relate to so many things that you had to say this morning. I am so full. I am so glad I did not have any makeup on because I have definitely shed some tears. Yes, I just enjoyed everything you had to say. The Holy Spirit woke me up this morning. I was not going to go to Burner Brothers. On another note, I was not going to go to Burner Brothers. I got this morning and told me to meet with Tamika this morning with you and let you know that I'm putting my makeup on now. I'm on my way. And
Oh, Brandy, I think we're losing you a little bit.
That is my CEO who my phone is breaking up.
There we go. Now we can hear you. I heard you mention you were going to go to Bronner Brothers, and then it went out a little bit for us.
I am going to meet Tamika Gibson. Holy Spirit woke me up this morning and told me to go and speak with her today. Wow. So I am on my way.
Awesome. And did you say as well that's your CEO that you're going to be modeling? Oh, we lost her. I'm pretty sure that's what I had heard her say as well, that was the CEO. Tamika Gibson is definitely a friend of the network and an amazing, another millionaire mom that's going to be on in March. So excited. So thank you for sharing, Brandy. Sorry about the connection there. Anybody else have a question or comment, input for today's class before we close out?
I have a question.
Sure. Who is this?
This is Marcy.
There you are, Marcy.
Hey, Jen. Hi, Denise.
Hi.
I love your energy. Oh my gosh. You're so energetic and always smiling. And I'm a hugger too, so I love it. But here's my comment, and then just a little bit of a, I guess if you can expound. I have grown children as well. And they always say to me, well, you're always working. Or if I say something to them about, how come you didn't share with me? They say, well, because you're always busy, or you're always on the computer, or you're always working. And you're right. The most important time of their lives is when they were growing up. And now that they're grown, I feel like, oh, it's my time now. But really, it's not. Like, I kind of just said, okay, you're grown now. I can go on with my life. But no, they're still under my care. And there's that little bit of gap, and it really breaks my heart when they say that. And I'm not like a mom that's never around them. I see them every day. But because I see them every day, I feel like that's enough. But they feel like it's not. They're like, you're either on your computer or on your phone or you're home or you're doing some work. So can you just briefly tell me how you started that bond with your grown kids?
So you have to find out what it is that they would like for you to do with them. And you can just start very small and pick one activity a week, like for my daughter, she likes to food and go to different restaurants and things like that. Or this is what I did with her. I'm trying to teach her how to cook because I want her to know how to cook for her family. So, and she wants to learn. So what I would do when she was home for this summer is once a week, say, okay, let's get together and let's cook a meal. And during the week, what I would do is we would talk about the ingredients that's going to go in it. Well, what is it that you want to learn how to cook? And then you have that session with them that once a week. But then I'm asking them questions. while we're cooking about their lives and, and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that I have done with my daughter. So I would say try to identify something that they will want to do with you. With my son, okay, he just went through a really bad breakup with a girl. I was praying her away. I'm just going to be really honest.
Oh, that's so funny. I love it. The prayers of the righteous availeth much.
But that girl done put something on him, let me just tell you. So, I just knew that he was going through that time. So I would reach out to him and say, you okay? Are you okay today? And then he would start to vent because I think he's exhausted all his friends. They didn't want to hear any more about her. Mm-hmm. So, and I was tired too, to be honest. So I said, listen, I'm not going to judge you if you want to, talk about this again. And so basically I found some kind of try to see where I can bond with him with something, that he was going through at the time, and just be a listening ear. Now I'm going to tell you, some days it was like an hour. I look at my phone. And now he's much better. And then he's coming back to me about a business idea, or, I'm a little more gentle with him instead of just, saying, well, you should have done this. And she wasn't. I just kind of listen. So basically compassionate listening worked with my son. And then it created a bond where now he's telling me more different things about business that I can kind of coach him on. And so it's not the when he calls you, you're rushing off the phone. Because I used to rush off the phone all the time. Okay, what is it? What do you want? Because I gotta go. So I hope that helped.
That was very good. And I rush off the phone too. So I got to be careful not to do that and to be more attentive. So that's very good. Thank you.
Awesome. We had a question come in through the chat. So Denise, how is your organization set up in regards to chain of command? Do you have tiers in place to help? And if so, how do you select your top leaders?
All right. So what has happened over the past year is the group that I am actually connected to, we have transitioned to being able to provide training and support online. So, we have training, we have kind of a duplicatable system where we have videos for people. So what I do is I just steer people to doing that so they can do it on their leisure. And I kind of set up a check-in system with them in order for me to make sure that they are on task. Now with direct sales, what I had to realize is that you can only work with people who want to work. So you have to figure that out and not judge yourself, because if you're carrying individual, you'll want to give someone the time that they're not ready for it. Mm-hmm. So, and as far as chain of command, because, we do have this resource of the videos and the training and things like that, that's not an issue as much, but I do allow people access to me. And I tell them, hey, text me first and before to see if I'm available. And I kind of set up a time, to follow up and to interact with them. And then you set a time limit as well with your business partner. Say, hey, this is going to be a 15-minute session, and let them know so they can value your time. I hope that.
Good. Yeah, that's great. That is great. Awesome. Thank you so much for answering our questions. I don't see any more here in the chat. And we are now at 1:15, and we just want to honor your time and all the ladies who are here today. Thank you so much for being on. I know everyone else was able to share how much you had blessed them. And I know we'll get more feedback in our Facebook group, which I will share with you as well, Denise. But I was blessed, as always, getting the chance to connect with you. And I know Colleen couldn't be on live today, but we're definitely going to set up a follow-up of like-minded ladies, and we'll chat more. But it's been awesome getting to hear from you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Mwah.
All right. Ladies, you've got your homework. You know what you need. And if you got any questions, reach out to us, Facebook group, direct DMs, or even by email. We're here to support you. Next week, we are talking about peak performance and the mental game of a CEO. We're going to have our own coach Shelly on, who is a licensed mental therapist, has been an entrepreneur for years in a flourishing practice multi-location counseling center, and she's going to talk about how to win in the mental game for peak performance. So don't miss next week. We'll see you guys then. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye now.